Hello, hello, hello. Welcome and welcome back to another bullet journal plan with me. Today you'll be getting a 2 for the price of 1. Woohoo! I'm going to be flipping through in my March setup for this notebook, but later on in this video I'm going to be setting up a few spreads in this beautiful notebook. It's the Vintage Bee notebook from Archer and Olive. It's one of the OG designs, but I'll explain later on in this video how I use this notebook. For now, let's talk about this setup. I've set these up off camera a little while ago because I didn't really know how I was going to tackle this theme and lighting, but I went with a vintage nautical theme, and the reason for that was this beautiful piece of rice paper that I got a while ago from a store called Journal-Diz, and I'll have their information linked in the description down below, as well as any other items that I've used in this setup and I will be using in the next setup. But yeah, vintage nautical theme. I am a huge fan of these sorts of old sailboats. I think that's why I also love Pirates of the Caribbean movies so much. But I love old sailboats. Unfortunately though, I am severely seasick. I cannot step on anything on the water without becoming sick, which sucks. But I still love how these old ships look. And when I got this a while ago, I was dying to use it, but I had to wait until I was finally using a B5 notebook because I really didn't want to cut too much off from the paper. For the borders, I went with the Distress ink, and it's funny because now from the side you can really tell which spreads are for March. There you go. Distress ink is such a fun medium to use. I've used them in different ways in this setup, and you'll be seeing that in a little bit. But yeah, borders with Distress ink. I didn't use black pens. I only used the sepia tone for fine liners in this setup. And yeah, that's the cover page for March. Here we are with the monthly calendar. I also use the Distress ink to stamp out the dates. You can use the little pads for just that, a stamping pad to stamp the letters on. And I used one of those clear stamps for all the headers and for the birthday events and goals section. And I had these Stampera paper pads, which were vintage nautical themed, which I just ripped to give it this scrapbooky vintage feel, and I have some erasing to do, but I'll do that later. Here we are at my lifestyle trackers page. I didn't want to do these in my weeklies because I would feel it would be way too cluttered for the weeklies for this theme. Very, very overwhelming. So for this month, I went with full 2-page spread for my trackers. Here we have the color codes that I'll be using to indicate whether I had a good day, bad day, productive day, how my motivation and energy were, and yeah, I'll just make a line for how many hours I slept and score my sleep on the bottom right here, because you can sleep a lot of hours but still have a crappy night, you know, if you wake up a bunch of times, which happens to me quite a lot, unfortunately. And here at the top are my habits, and there's place for about 10 habits, and there's still a little bit space at the top to add more if I need to, and I'll just make little X's or little dashes for when I do a habit. This is my gratitude log and my brain dump page, and I really do not like how I made this gratitude log. I don't know, I really don't like how I did this with this paper here. I'm sure once it's all filled in with things I'm grateful for, it will look a lot better, but I really wish I did something else with this paper. But it is what it is, and I'm sure it will look fine once it's all filled in. I do really like how my brain dump is looking, and for this month I decided to call it just that, because stamping out the full header I normally use a place for my head is just a lot of stamping and would take up way too much space. So yeah, gratitude log and brain dump. Moving on to the self-care bingo spread and my other empty spread. Both of these are not quite done yet. I still need something to find to put at the bottom right there. And yeah, this is reserved for a fitness tracker. I don't really know how I'm going to track my workout schedule, but yeah, that's why I haven't made anything yet. Maybe I'll use the one I used in February. Maybe I'll do something else, but I still have a few days to figure that out. But for now, it's blank. And yeah, really, if you want to see what that looks like when it's done, definitely find me on Instagram. Moving on to my first weekly spread for March, I went with a running to-do list here, a section for my groceries, and the events go on the right here. And I used some scrap paper and some washi tapes that had a more vintagey feel as a little decoration, as well as a little small quote at the bottom right there. Moving on to my second weekly for March. Again, the little piece of scrap paper, large running to-do list, groceries, notes, and I went with a little not so box layout on the left for the events. And the third weekly, vertical layout this time, section for my running to-do list, groceries, notes, and all the days of the week in these vertical boxes. Whoops. Here we are at the fourth weekly. Again, running to-do list, notes, groceries, and section for events. And as you can see, or maybe didn't you see, but now you'll see it, Tuesday is spelled wrong. And instead of fixing it, I decided to just leave it as is. And the last weekly spread for this setup, only 4 days left in March in that week, so I went with a one-page weekly spread, and the rest of the week will be in my April setup. And here's a monthly reflection, and for this month I didn't need to add in a little quote because there's a quote at the bottom right there, and I can't read what it says, but it's pretty. I'll have stills of these on my Instagram account. Anyway, I'm going to pass it over to past Kirsten, who will blab something. Print with the whole stamping of the edges. Gosh, words, thinking, brain. And here we are back with voiceover Kirsten. Yeah, that's it for my March setup, and I will be right back to set up my March spreads in this beautiful vintage B notebook. Hi again! So, about this notebook real quick. This is the Vintage B with 192 pages from Archer and Olive. It's one of the OG designs, and these are no longer available. Sad face, but next to my B5 for planning and tracking, I use this one for my daily journaling, and these are no longer available, but the spring collection has just launched over on the website, on the Archer and Olive website. So if you want to use, or if you want to get a new notebook or some really other cute stationery supplies, definitely use my link in the description and my discount code for a 10% discount. Now, as an affiliate, I do make a small commission, but that doesn't affect your price in any way. But yeah, about this theme, because I had a shoulder injury a while ago, I was out of a commission for a week, and I didn't really know how I was going to tackle this theme. So you'll be seeing me figure things out while I go. These are some of the pens and markers that I considered using. I wanted to use paint maybe. I thought about using distress ink again. And here's the stamping tools, and there will be some paper and paper towels, because I really don't know how I came up with this idea. I guess this is why I love being creative, because sometimes you have an idea in your head and it comes out into something completely different and so amazing, and that is this theme. So yeah, again, somehow I created a magical object sort of theme. I wanted to use green in this setup because I also use green in my main bullet journal or my other main bullet journal. And when I started sketching out ideas and thinking of ideas, and I somehow created this. And I'm really, really, really happy with how this theme came about and how it's looking at the end. And yeah, for now, I'm gonna let you guys watch me doodle, and I'll be back in a little bit. So as you can see, I have this little piece of paper on the side right there because, like I said, I was out of commission for a full week. I couldn't draw or paint or do anything because I was in so much pain because of my shoulder. So normally I have colors picked out before I start, and I couldn't do that. So I knew I had a basic idea of what I wanted to do and which colors I wanted to use, but this is me on the side, just, you know, placing little, what's it called? Words, brain, function, swatches. Thank you. I'm making these little swatches to figure out which color I would be using for what. Another reason why I wanted to use green is because I use a lot of stickers in my daily logging. I don't know if I already said that, but if you want to see what that really looks like, definitely go check me out on Instagram. And for this setup for March, I really wanted to use the stickers that I got from leelajournals a little while ago, and I'll have her information linked down below. I love her stickers and her aesthetic, and I also looked at her pages or her Instagram for inspiration when I was brainstorming for ideas for March in this notebook. And this is inspired by her November setup, where she also did like a table with a 3D effect, and mine is apparently centered around magical objects. Here I'm grabbing this lovely metallic paint palette, water paints palette. I got this palette from Stationery Pal a little while ago, and these paints are so freaking awesome. I'm not a paint expert at all, but I really enjoy working with these. And as you can see, for things that are behind something, I decided to water paint down a bit more, so it felt like you were looking actually through glass, and it's a little bit faded because of that. And while I'm doing that, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to all the new subscribers that I got to this channel. You have absolutely no idea how much that means to me. Seriously, so many people started following me in the last month, and I'm really, really, really grateful to all of you for hitting that notification, or for hitting that subscribe button and letting me know that you are liking what I'm putting out there. So yeah. And of course, to my previous subscribers, thank you so much for still being here. Please don't unsubscribe. I love you guys, and yeah, thank you. Here I'm just adding some gold splatter to give it that magical effect. I also used stickers from OhleenkaStudio, and I'll have her shop and information linked in the description down below, as well as, of course, leelajournals, her information. And yeah, that's the cover page almost done. I'm so happy with how this theme looks. Moving on to my next page. This is a page where I write down my monthly horoscope that I find on this app on my phone. I don't really believe in horoscopes, but they're fun to write down and to look back on and see how very wrong or how maybe very right they were. And again, just using all these sort of mystical, magical objects and elements as decorative elements. That's elements twice. You can really see that shimmer of that gold paint. It's so stunning. And this set was so freaking cheap. Definitely check out Stationery, pal. I am not affiliated with them, but I love a bargain and I love sharing bargains. So definitely check out Stationery. I don't know at this moment if this set is still available, but if it is, I will definitely link the exact description down below, because this is such a beautiful set to have. And look at that shimmer. So yeah, once my horoscope is up, I'll fill that in this spread. And here we move on to my next 2 spreads and the final 2 spreads of this setup. In my daily journal, I like to dive in a little bit deeper into my monthly goals, which I write down in this spread, as well as some action steps on how to achieve my monthly goals. And yeah, I haven't set my goals for this month yet, but I will this weekend. We're nearing the end of this video, so I'm just gonna say thank you for watching again. I'm sorry it's a bit of a messy video. Like I said, I fell out of commission for a week and I really wanted to get this video out, and it's already pretty late, more later than I wanted to, so please forgive me. But I just really wanted to get something out, and I really love how my second theme ended up looking, and I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll be flipping through it in a little bit, and yeah, thank you for watching. Find me on Instagram to see how I use this notebook on a day-to-day basis, and if you have any questions about things, let me know in the comments, and I hope to see you in a video real soon. Bye guys!